roughly June 2026. But I might have to go earlier due to, I'll be honest, I'm probably going to start receiving pretty significant treatment for my treatment-resistant depression. The VA there has special things for that, like transcranial magnetic stimulation or whatever. 5, the launch date is fixed. Launch date is fixed, February 12th, 2026. And 6, I need optimism and solutions, not pessimism. Let's go over this. Final vision. I set the product direction. I make final decisions. I choose what we build. I decide who we serve and how we monetize it. You execute the vision, you make it happen, and you find a way. It's not a democracy. I tried that and it killed the product. Doesn't mean I'm not willing to listen to advice, but it's founder-led. So, number 2, no arguing unless it's fatal to the company or to the person. Like I said, this isn't directed to anyone, but what I say goes. And there's an exception, and that exception is if there's a fatal mistake that's going to genuinely harm the company or people, or in some other way cause injury, harm of some sort, stuff like that. So there's times when there is to argue if there's app store violation, bankruptcy, legal issues, things like that. If it's something that's going to cause a problem, let me know. But when not to argue, feature debates, user preferences, difficulty concerns, I do not want to get whittled away and watered down again. I'm not really interested in critique or doubt. I really only care about the execution. And if you have some concerns, frame it as solutions, not problems. Number 3, I'm not really leaving the house anymore, other than for networking or going to different cities and stuff. My mental health comes first. When I'm in Vietnam, the work days are Monday and Tuesday, and then also Thursday in the office. Wednesday and Friday is remote. I'm willing to take external meetings only when necessary. Otherwise, because of my autism, I actually tend to make things worse. So that's for other people if they want to do. If I happen to be in the Bay Area, if I go there sooner, like to start getting this treatment, we'll communicate mostly asynchronously via video because the time zone difference is huge. I'm moving to the Bay Area. I have to be there. That's where the money is. I'm open to receiving investment once again. I'm open to receiving investment for this because I believe in it and because it's investable and because this is something people invest in. We're gonna have conversations about how initially I was thinking about actually making this a nonprofit, which would open us up to things like grants and stuff, but I think for sustainability, it still has to be a for-profit business model. That way we can get investment. I might move there sooner, or I might go there for like, let's say a month to receive treatments, for instance, like the TMS or electroconvulsive therapy or ketamine treatment. But there's a lot of reasons to be there. There's investor ecosystem. There's the, if it's okay to fail mentality. There's a lot less hesitation about stuff. We don't have to use we don't have to tiptoe around what autism is. It's something that's accepted. And I've come to realize that I am fragile because of my mental health problems. And so unfortunately, my mental health comes first if I want to continue to be a founder. I can be a brand ambassador there, and I can help advertise there. It'll make it easier. Now, I do want to share that despite all these things, that you are empowered to make decisions on your own, and I strongly encourage it. And I'll overrule it only if I feel a strong push against my vision. I've come to realize that I get decision fatigue easily, choosing things like fonts, choosing things like even what to eat and stuff. This wears away my ability to make decisions when it comes to bigger things. And so I'm really going to try to avoid that. The launch date is fixed. Why? If we don't have a hard launch date, well, we just keep pushing things back. And the thing is that this is Valentine's Day. Now, I'm not trying to capitalize on people being lonely, but people tend to be lonely on that day. And also Christmas and various other days, but that'll give us enough time. I'm not saying that we're going to launch a perfect product, but we're going to iterate after launching. We don't need to make it perfect. We don't need to do any scope creep. We need to ship an MVP and then iterate. Rule number 6, optimism, not pessimism. You need to find a way to make the vision happen. Don't tell me why it can't happen, or unless I'm breaking the law or gonna bankrupt ourselves. I don't need to hear it. We're going to try to make this happen. No, have you considered this? Or things like that. More of, here's a challenge, here's how you can figure out a way to solve it. Not, this won't work because of this. I'll give a task, and then you can find a way to make it happen with anything at your disposal. You need to be optimistic, solution-oriented, and resourceful. I don't want to be whittled away again from the vision that I set out to become a mere shell of myself, like I have been, I'd say the past 2 months. And so, here's the closing. I'm never going to compromise again. I'm never going to compromise my vision again, especially when I'm the one that's paying for the entirety of it with the vast majority of my income. This is a founder-led company I'm building now with conviction and authenticity, not compromises. Why will this work? I don't know. It might not. But I know one thing. I would use this app. Probably at least one other person would use the app. I understand the market. We can build it fast, and I'm all in. And so here's what I'm doing next. I'm metaphorically drawing a line, and there's 2 options. You either opt in, you're fully in, you commit fully, you accept a new operating model, and you trust the direction, or you opt out. There's no hard feelings, we part respectfully, and I actually also respect that. But obviously, I like our team, I like the people that are with us, and so ideally, you stay with us. But here's the thing, this pivot is effective immediately. And so I'm leaving this with you for the day to think about. You have Monday off. I'm sending this out Sunday night. What's the day? Sunday the 19th. You have Monday off. You're to watch this and then think about it. Read the pitch deck if I get it out by tomorrow, and consider if you want to be part of this future. I'm open to one-on-ones if you want to talk to me, and you have until Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. If you're there, I assume that you want to be part of the future. If you choose to stay, your job will actually become significantly easier. No longer is there any unclear product market fit, no unclear endless development cycles. There's no mission creep, and you have full freedom and authority to do whatever you need to do to accomplish whatever mission you've been given as you see fit. You do that, you update the team. And so here are your roles if you choose to stay. Me, I pay salaries, I create vision, I create videos and I try to get, I guess, a tiny bit of social media presence. I seek out investors for initial contact, and I make contact with those initial investors. With those investors, I mean. Paula, if you choose to stay, you execute on the vision, you follow up with the investors and the other contacts, you do day-to-day stuff, you keep the company on track for the February 12th, 2026 launch. You have full ownership over logistics and development so that because I am fragile, I don't become a single point of failure when I'm inevitably in a mental health crisis again. Hung, you're a product manager. You vibe code frameworks and basic concepts based on this vision. Then once you have the basic visions, you send it out to Fiverr for polishing or other, I guess, contractors or whoever. Then you work with those contractors to make it work. Elia and Aaron, you're there to make me famous. I'm okay with being the face of this. I was really hesitant to be the face of Harmonia. I want to be kid-friendly initially, and by being kid-friendly, I never wanted to break that illusion of cartoon characters and stuff. This is for adults. All of our users are 18 plus. I'm okay being the face with that. So what I'm going to do is make videos and create the journey, which will include this. And then I actually already created another video of when I was my lowest, when I decided to make that pivot. And everything else, we're going to be radically transparent. Elia, you'll probably have to do a bit of video editing, social media stuff. Aaron will probably be more marketing and social media strategy. And that's about it. If I'm going to fail, I want to fail with some dignity instead of becoming a shell of who I am. And that's the way I've been for the past 2 months. If I'm going to fail, it's better for me to fail attempting to create something that I love. So I guess we're shifting from, are we building the right thing, to, do you trust me enough and my vision enough to follow it? Hope to see you Tuesday morning.